What's up, guys? It's Dan from Coin Bureau Trading, back at it again with another crypto market update. Today we've got XRP, Stellar, and Hedera. I'm sure you're all wondering what these three cryptos are up to, especially XRP, given it recently had a pretty nasty decline. If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. With that being said, guys, do keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. It's just my personal analysis of these cryptos. Your analysis could be different, and honestly, if it is, that's awesome, because the more difference of opinion that we have, the better investors, the better traders that we're all going to become. With that being said, guys, let's jump straight into it. I guess I'll quickly explain why XRP had dumped over the last 24 hours or 48 hours, I think. Besides the broader downturn in the crypto market, some of you might have heard that XRP, the ledger, had a little bit of a hiccup, let's say. That's all been resolved now, which of course, we can kind of look past that and start asking, when is XRP going to start recovering? Believe it or not, guys, but I actually think this is going to start later today. This is precisely because of the recent partnership between Ripple and Ondo Finance to bring tokenized real-world assets to the XRP ledger. In case you haven't been following along here on my videos, the Ondo Finance actually has a summit later today, and they're going to be making big announcements here. And of course, now that they recently launched on XRPL, XRP will probably get caught up in that hype, or any kind of hype that arises from these announcements, which again are going to be happening later today. February 6th is literally today, guys. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if we see XRP, Ondo, and other real-world asset-related cryptos rallying. I actually think that Ethereum is starting to rally in anticipation of this. Of course, a lot of real-world assets are on Ethereum. Not trying to cause any competition here. I'm just pointing out the cryptos that could do well, or that could start pumping rather later today. So this is definitely something to keep your eyes on. The other thing that I've been watching closely as well is how the RLUSD. Sorry, I was just like trying to think, like, what is it called again? The RLUSD, or Real USD stablecoin from Ripple. How this has been kind of expanding. Basically, there was just an announcement that the USD stablecoin is now available in Revolut, which is pretty crazy. I'm actually a user of Revolut. I mean, not to like dox myself or anything, but that's actually very big, and especially when we consider the involvement with Ondo Finance, with Revolut. Let's just say that the pools of capital that are involved in these crypto projects, let's just say that it's very good news for XRP. I'll just put it that way without getting down into the rabbit hole. I'm sure some of you in the comments will know, and if you do, then be sure to drop a comment down below. Anyways, guys, moving on now finally to the XRP chart. As we can see here, not much has changed, I guess, over the last couple of weeks. I haven't actually changed this chart at all, I think, over the last month, maybe 2 months. As I mentioned, I think a couple of weeks ago, it's possible that XRP had basically hit that target at around $3.5. It got up to like 3.41 or something like that. And I was warning, basically cautioning, that it's possible that we would see a sideways consolidation the same way we did the last time there was a big rally here in November, in late November rather. And this is exactly what's kind of happened. We've seen XRP kind of consolidate to the side, but I do think that this consolidation is close to being over. I do think XRP is going to get back above this resistance level. I do think it's going to go for this $3.5 target again, and I do think that it's going to continue rallying and probably go all the way up to around $5, I think, is roughly where the cycle top will be. I was mentioning that it would be somewhere around $4, but of course, I do believe that it's probably going to chop somewhere between, let's say, $4.5 and $5. You're going to see a sideways chop, probably a nice distribution pattern as XRP whales take profits, and basically everyone who's buying in right at the top is going to get wrecked. But if you're in at this level, you can expect, I would say, at least a return. Again, there's no guarantees here, but if I had to guess, in the next couple of months, this is not going to happen overnight, guys. We're on the daily chart here, but in the next couple of months, it would not surprise me at all that if you're holding XRP right now, then you'd be looking at around a 2x gain, assuming that you can sell the exact top, which again is probably going to be somewhere around $5. With that being said, you might have noticed that we're using Binance there. The Coin Bureau deals page has trading fee discounts of up to 20% and sign-up bonuses of up to $600. Of course, if you don't like Binance or you can't use Binance, we have other exchanges with other deals there. As I've been saying, guys, these trading fee discounts will help you out a lot. Even if you have a small amount of money, if you're trading frequently, those trading fees will add up and they will eat into your profits. I know this from experience from the previous cycle. Taking advantage of these deals, it doesn't cost you anything. These deals are completely free. The exchange gets a new user, you get a trading fee discount and we get a cut of your trading fees. That's how the Coin Bureau makes its money. We're not sponsored by any crypto project. We're not paid by Ethereum or Solana or anyone. We don't care what crypto you like, so long as you're interested in buying, selling, or trading. We're here to basically give you the tools to do that with our affiliate links. That's part of why we've become so big. We do not take money from any crypto projects. That keeps us honest, keeps us critical of basically, I would say almost every crypto project. Anyways, guys, moving on now to Stellar. So this is where things get interesting. Those of you who've been, again, keeping up with my videos will know that I've noticed that there's a lot of catalysts that seem to be coming around February for all these different crypto projects. In the case of Stellar, it looks like they're going to be going to ETH Denver, it sounds like, which is going to be later this month, or I believe it's ETH Denver. And so later this month, specifically February 25th, 26th, and 26th, I guess, February 25th and 26th. We're going to see probably some announcements coming out of Stellar's ecosystem, which again, is a couple weeks away. But I do think that Stellar is going to benefit as well from this RWA kind of pump that could come later today. Of course, all these ISO 20022 cryptos, are very closely related, let's say, into this RWA narrative as a consequence of kind of catering towards things like stable coins and banks and stuff like that. So and especially in the case of XLM, I do think that XLM is following XRP. This is something I've been saying for a while now, and it's something that I believe is going to continue to be the case. The XLM should continue following. Same thing with HBAR. But we'll get to that in a second. Starting now with XLM, we can see that it continues to chop within this range, which, as I was mentioning yesterday and in other videos, any chop within this range here between the starting point and resistance is completely normal. It would not surprise me in the slightest if we continue to see a little bit of chop here. But what's really interesting, if I zoom in a little bit here, guys, it does look like, and again, maybe I'm being too optimistic here, but it does look like we could see XRP in the next XLM in the next couple of weeks. I'm always mixing those two up, guys? In the next couple of weeks, we could see XLM kind of rally back up to this 50-cent level, which is, of course, key psychological level. I would say the resistance is somewhere closer to 54 cents. But regardless, guys, I do think that XLM here, it looks like had a really nice shakeout, and it looks like we're going to have a just as quick recovery rally, kind of similar to the one that we saw here in late December, where we saw prices go down and then quickly recover. I do think we're going to see the same thing happen here with XLM. But anyways, guys, and the trigger for that could be the RWA related announcements later today. But I do think that this target is still intact. In case it wasn't clear enough, guys, the way that I calculate these targets is I just look at the starting point, which is, where did this most recent move begin? I look at where prices have been struggling to get above. That's the resistance. I take the difference between those two levels and I add that to the resistance. And that's how we get the target. Of course, in this case, the difference is 30 cents. So adding that to the resistance gives us a target of 84 cents, which, of course, from the current price, you'd be looking at more than a 2x for XLM. Similar to XRP, but the difference being that I do think that XLM is probably going to go much higher than 84 cents. I think everyone's going to be wanting it to probably go to around $1, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if we see kind of like some whale manipulation that takes it above $1. So in percentage terms, I do think XLM has more upside here, and of course, the same is true for Hedera. And if you've been keeping up with our coverage, of course, of XRP, XLM, and HBAR, you'll know that I've been highlighting as well this upcoming developer conference here, the first, network and innovation conference, or user conference here since 2018, which is pretty crazy. It's going to be February 25th as well in Denver, of course. It's funny how all these crypto projects like to bring all their stuff together, right? You would like to think that maybe they spread it out over different times so that everyone can attend these different events, but I'm sure that there's lots of people that would like to go to the Stellar one and the Hedera one. But anyway, it is what it is. But I do think we're going to see big announcements coming out of that. And just like with XLM, I do think that that's going to trigger a recovery in HBAR. Again, I do know it's a couple weeks away. I do know that it's a little bit frustrating. But, all things considered, guys, the kinds of returns that you get in crypto and the kinds of time frames we're talking about here, it just, it's worth the wait. Okay. It's it's waiting an extra couple weeks is not the end of the world when you're making gains that takes 5 or 10 years to happen in the stock market, right? It's always worth keeping that in mind. It's easy to get conditioned to these 20 or 30% pumps and thinking that just because it's not happening every single day that everything is over, when of course in stocks people are just they're happy when it's up half a percentage on the day, right? Anyways, guys, same thing here, HBAR as with XLM. Any chop within this range here between the starting point and the resistance is normal. In the case of HBAR, it has been a little bit more resilient. It's managed to hold the support level around 25 cents, which is awesome. This is something I've been underscoring. Like out of these three cryptos, HBAR is definitely the one I'm the most bullish on. I still haven't taken a position on it yet, just because I've been waiting, for some confirmation. As I've been noting to you guys, if you're trading these cryptos, you need to wait until they get above the resistance level before getting too greedy and going long. Otherwise, you'll end up with a scenario like this where you get a rejection, maybe some whale manipulation just above that level, and then you get a nice liquidation here, which of course everyone who bought into that got pretty wrecked, especially if they were taking leverage here. They basically lost 50% of their money, which is brutal. But anyways, guys, I do think that HBAR is going to continue heading higher here, just like with XRP and XLM. I do think that in the short term, this RWA announcement later today could probably cause it to perk up, maybe bring it back up to this around, like, I don't know, 30-cent psychological resistance level before it actually goes for this actual resistance, probably sometime by the end of the month. And I do think that target will be hit in the coming weeks. And I know I've been saying this ad nauseum, but again, guys, like, we just have to be patient with this choppy price action here, and just count, or I guess, and understand that the more that we chop and consolidate, the closer that we get to that breakout, if that makes any sense, or to the breakdown. But of course, I don't think that this is a risk at this stage in the crypto market cycle. Anyways, guys, of course, I do need to shill the Coin Bureau Club. Today, in this case, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek. I think I was saying last week that I'm going to try at least once a week to give you guys a sneak peek into what we have in the Coin Bureau Club. So here you can see everything we offer. This is, of course, our very nice dashboard. We have a research feed, which you can actually see the latest posts here. I did a post today about hardware and why I think that cryptos with like hardware stuff like SUI will do really well. I'm not going to get into the details here. Of course, we have our altcoin reviews, which you can see here, the latest video. You can see a little bit of Guy's portfolio here. We have our altcoin review poll, which is currently live. We have some really interesting crypto projects on there. And of course, we have an exclusive deals page here where you can get not trading view discounts, but discounts on these crypto analytics tools, including like CoinGecko subscriptions and stuff like that. Those were pretty tricky deals to get, I must say. But this is kind of like, I guess, a little bit of a summary of the stuff that we have here. Not trying to give away too much, but just give you guys a sense of what's behind the paywall, because I know that it's not always super clear if you don't know what you're paying for, let's say. Anyways, guys, moving on now to the alpha of the day. This is alpha that I think it's surprising that it's gone completely off under the radar, especially because it's related to XRP. And I probably should have mentioned it at the beginning of the video and said like, hey guys, stick around till the end for some XRP alpha. But anyway, it is what it is. The interesting thing, guys, is that, of course, XRP will be launching an EVM-compatible sidechain. What's interesting about this is that this EVM-compatible sidechain will be built on Cosmos, which obviously means it's going to be easy to integrate with the Cosmos ecosystem. And when you consider, guys, that XRP has such a massive market cap, it's like, I don't know, whatever it is, 175, 150 billion, 200 billion, who's counting, right? But in all seriousness, guys, XRP has a massive market cap. And not only that, but you have a lot of people that are holding XRP that are just holding for the long term and they don't want to sell it, right? I'm sure that a lot of you who are watching fall into that camp. It's like you're holding XRP, maybe you're also holding XLM, HBAR, these other cryptos. But in this case, focusing on XRP, you're holding a lot of XRP and you'd rather not sell it because you believe in the crypto project long term, but there's not really much you can do with it now, right? Like, of course, there's some things you can do on the XRP ledger, but in terms of like borrowing, right? Like using your XRP as collateral to borrow stablecoin like real USD, right? Like Ripple stablecoin. You currently cannot do that, but this is something that Ripple is working on. And to my understanding, this is something that will be launching on the XRP EVM sidechain, where you will be able to use XRP as collateral to borrow this Ripple stablecoin, which of course is going to be huge for XRP whales or anyone who's been holding XRP and they don't want to sell. They'll be able to use that XRP as collateral to basically borrow RLUSD. And this actually reminds me, guys, the really interesting thing is, of course, you could say, oh, but like even if you use XRP, there's not enough on-chain liquidity and blah blah blah, which I'm sure some haters will be saying. But what I guess those people don't understand is, of course, Ripple has this on-demand liquidity, right? Ripple is very good at moving XRP around to the places that it needs to go. And this, in my view, is like this one very, I guess, subtle detail in the XRPL EVM that is just not present in other cryptos, that Ripple as a company has the ability to move XRP in and out. Like if there's a liquidation event or whatever, they can move all those ripples, I guess, or XRP. They can move all those coins around to make sure that all the liquidations are orderly and make sure that the prices are accurate and all this stuff. This is, I think, something that a lot of people don't understand. And I'm sure some of you listening, even some of you listening who are familiar with like XRP and Ripple are like, oh yeah, like I didn't even think of that. But it really underscores the importance of crypto market structure. But anyways, guys, the thing that has the reason why I'm bringing this up is like not necessarily because of XRP, because of course, okay, great, XRP will be used as collateral. I don't necessarily think that's going to increase the demand for XRP per se. But what I do think it's going to do, guys, is that when you have, let's say, tens of billions of XRP going to the sidechain and then used as collateral for people to borrow hundreds of millions of RLUSD, what are they going to do with that RLUSD? Well, they're going to speculate on altcoins. Okay, but which altcoins will they speculate on? And this is kind of like my hot take, is that because the XRPL EVM sidechain is based on Cosmos, it will probably connect to these other Cosmos cryptos, and we're probably going to see quite a bit of RLUSD and quite a bit of the liquidity that's coming from XRP being used as collateral on the sidechain. I know it's a little bit of a mouthful there, guys, but point being is I think a lot of the money, basically, for a simple explanation, a lot of the money on the XRPL EVM sidechain is probably going to flow into the Cosmos ecosystem simply because it's like the lowest barrier. It's like the easiest place for that money to flow because XRPL EVM is also a Cosmos-based crypto, or at least it will be. It still hasn't launched yet. But this to me is going to be extremely bullish for these Cosmos-based cryptos. I believe that Corium is a crypto in XRP's ecosystem that is also based on Cosmos. So that's definitely one to watch as well, and I'm sure that it will benefit from that. But besides that, I do think that we'll see a lot of that liquidity flow into Cosmos cryptos, and with Osmosis being the primary DEX there, I do think that the Osmo token will benefit, or the Osmo coin rather, will benefit a lot. And full disclosure, I do hold Osmo, but this is one of the cryptos that I'm personally really bullish on. But even in general, guys, I think it's going to be bullish for the entire Cosmos ecosystem. So, I guess it's a little bit of a alpha that's out of left field, let's say, but it's something that I think a lot of people are overlooking. And if you made it this far, I do hope that you find that information useful. And I'm probably going to do a research feed post about it as well in the Coin Bureau Club now that I mentioned it, because I don't think I've done a proper research feed post about it yet. But anyways, guys, if you did make it this far, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one.